I hope you enjoy this compilation of Jacob Arms Series 1. Rest assured there's plenty more to come, and you can see them on my social media channels. Bye. Sir David Attenborough's new series, Wild Isles, is available to watch as of this week. The BBC, or Bottom of the Barrel Corporation, didn't say, making a landmark wildlife series about Britain is like making a gardening series about a car park in Hull. If we can do it here, we can do it anywhere. Wild Isles is intended to encourage British people to connect with wildlife in ways they never have before, which is another way of saying, stop running it over. The series contains footage showcasing brand new behaviour, and is the latest in a long line of programmes showing Orca doing something interesting that also feels kind of wrong. The footage has even prompted a response from the government, who are launching an inquiry to find out if it would be possible to train orcas to eat immigrants. Too soon. It's Earth Hour this Saturday, but what is it? We've allocated 1 hour of the year to think about what we're doing to the planet, which seems about right. In acknowledgement of Earth Hour, you're supposed to turn off all the lights in your home before proceeding to doom scroll as normal. Earth Hour has the effect of making burglars think there's no one at home, so don't be alarmed if you see a police officer with a big net by your front door. The idea, really, is that millions of people doing something positive for the environment during Earth Hour could have an incredible combined effect. Why not spend it reading articles about climate change and biodiversity loss, or listening to a relevant podcast, or helping a swan with its homework? Go to earthhour.org to find out how you can join the biggest hour for Earth. Figuratively speaking, of course. All hours are the same length. Turn that light off. Coming soon to the Apple TV Plus subscription you definitely still have, Prehistoric Planet 2. The dinosaurs were around for roughly 170 million years, and Prehistoric Planet 2, like the first series, is set 66 million years ago. This means we were receiving a minimum of 2 series for each million years the dinosaurs were around for, so I'm delighted to announce the final series of Prehistoric Planet will come out in 2362. You've got to give these shows time. It will then be followed by a sequel series exploring the lives of the people who watched the original Prehistoric Planet. The second series sees the return of Tyrannosaurus Rex, or Trex. Previously, we learnt that Tyrannosaurus Rex could swim, so I presume in this one it's learnt how to fly. The return of T-Rex heralds the second most dangerous predator to be on screen in 2023, after Cocaine Bear. Bad news. The UN released their latest climate report back in March, and they don't seem happy. Somehow, despite the release of Avatar 2, we're still on track to surpass 1.5 degrees of warming by the 2030s. But don't worry, there are 3 more Avatar films to come out before then, so we'll probably be okay. In case for some reason that doesn't work, the paper focuses on the power of people to influence change. We must avoid non-renewables en masse, and only vote for governments and policies that are proactive, whilst demonising corporations that do not act. Whilst your flexitarian diet really is commendable, I'd rather see BP burned to the ground. No, that is the problem, isn't it? I'd rather see them stop amicably. Much like Avatar 2, our actions now will resonate for thousands of years. If we don't act soon, more videos like this will come out that make us feel bad. Archaeologists have discovered an ancient graveyard in Yorkshire. The cemetery contains over 60 individuals from both a late Roman and early Anglo-Saxon origin. This is a period of time before the arrival of Christianity, which Christians referred to as the Dark Ages. Seems a bit biased, Christians? The Romans left Britain for Rome in 410 AD for completely normal reasons. Everything was fine in Rome. Don't look it up. They just had to check some stuff. They were replaced shortly after by the Saxons, who rebranded themselves as the Anglo-Saxons and brought all their cute little boat hobbies with them. This part of Yorkshire was in the kingdom of Elmet, which we currently know very little about, which is why this discovery is so exciting. So, watch this space. But without a doubt, this is one of the most exciting things to come out of West Yorkshire since me. Now, you've probably already thought about this today, but South America used to be full of giant sloths. Nowadays, there are two groups of sloths, three-toed and two-toed. Why sloths own toads, I do not know. But back in the day being until 12,000 years ago, the sloth family had a lot more variety. There were tree sloths, ground sloths, aquatic sloths. Megatherium was a ground sloth that grew to be the size of an elephant. Before the Beatles, it was sloths that were bigger than Jesus. Literally. In fact, everyone thought there were more sloths than you could shake a stick at, until early man did shake a stick at them and they all died. And yes, fact checkers, there was some climate change too. Have you seen this beaver? That's right, a beaver has been spotted in Bristol Harbour for the first time in 500 years. Big week. Beavers used to be rife in Britain, until people noticed their tastiness and tendency to make lovely hats. As is often the case in these videos, they eventually all died. But recently, targeted gorilla beaver reintroductions have triggered a population boom in Britain's waterways. Though I should say, gorilla, it's G-U-E-R-I-L-L-A, not the other kind. Can you imagine? Viva Las Vegas! Normally these videos have one or two more jokes in, so... Beavers back in Bristol? Damn. Time for a throwback. Who remembers Pangaea? Pangaea was a supercontinent that formed 300 million years ago. A supercontinent is to continents what Superman is to men. It could fly. No, laser eyes? Good morals. A supercontinent is to continents what a supermarket is to markets. Bigger. The name Pangaea means all of the earth in Greek, which is funny because it wasn't. Pangaea began to break up over the course of the Triassic and Jurassic periods into two smaller landmasses, Laurasia, which sounds like a proper continent, and Gondwanaland, which sounds like if Narnia was written on acid. But eventually, the continents will reform into another giant landmass, effectively resurrecting Pangaea. Maybe they'll do Glastonbury. Tired of hearing about kings that definitely exist? Let's talk about one that maybe didn't. We can objectively say that King Arthur definitely, maybe, existed. He's a legendary British figure, like Robin Hood or David Beckham. The real Arthur would likely have been a 5th or 6th century ruler living in England or Wales. The legend of Arthur, however, is a bit like when you exaggerate a story about a friend of yours, but if you kept doing it for over 1,000 years.
Yeah, I can talk about Arthur. He's got this magic sword. Pulled it out of a stone. Or a lake, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's friends with a wizard. It's pretty good. He can drink 3 pints of milk in 8 seconds.
Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, you can pay homage to the once and future king at one of the many different sites where he's buried. The man got around. So I suppose the message of this clip is that we're exaggerators. People stretch truths to be entertaining. If you think King Charles is pretty boring now, just you wait until 1,000 years on, when people will talk about how he could breathe fire and had normal-shaped hands. Trees. Here in the UK, woodland cover is at 13% of the land. That's up from 12% 25 years ago, which is good, but it's been a rocky road. Forest cover used to be very dense here after the Ice Age. Then it began to shrink as people arrived and invented wheat and cows. In 1066, old Bill the Conqueror famously said, "These woods is mine." Going into forests suddenly became shenanigans, and hunting in them may warrant an emergency amputation. Heading into the 16th century, England entered its awkward boat phase and started going through trees faster than you can say regret. 500 years and countless atrocities later, we've only recently started to recover some of the UK's woodland, and with it realise the massive infrastructural, ecological and psychological benefits it has. So get out of here, go to the forest. You can't see the woods for the videos you're watching about trees. That's a good joke.